Hey everybody, this is D Hunter, bringing another action figure review. Today, we're going to be looking at the Mattel WWE Elite Series 1, or at least the figures I've gotten so far. So, I like to get wrestling figures because A, the characters are cool, but B, I like to use them for civilians, thugs, mobsters, businessmen, all kind of different uses in my overall action figure world. For the most part, my rule is no clothes equals no buy, and pretty much every figure in the wave met my criteria. So let's go ahead and check out the packaging here. First of all, we've got Shinsuke Nacamura. He's in his blue outfit. He's got a belt, some alternate hands. You can see Series 81 on the back. Here is the rest of the wave. Now, I don't have Steve Austin yet. I actually did order him, but I ordered him with another item that I pre-ordered. So until that item's in stock, I'm not going to get him. But that's okay. Probably the least one I was looking forward to in the wave. Next, we've got The Rock here, and I would have passed on him. I have so many different Rock figures, but he's got full pants and a shirt. That's going to be great. Rest of the wave again. We've got Bianca Belair. She looks great. That huge braid, some sunglasses, bunch of different hands, a shirt to go on top of that outfit. This is the first time we've gotten an elite version of her. We got Montez Ford. He's got a shirt and pants as well, a little crown, some sunglasses. They released a basic version of him recently, and this is the first elite version. And his partner, Angelo Dawkins, he also has pants, shirt, another shirt, and a couple different sets of hands. This is also the first elite version of him we've gotten. He was just released in a basic wave very recently. So with no further ado, let's open him up. Alright. Now that we got these figures out of the package, here they are with all their accessories laid out. I did end up getting the rest of the wave. I found the chase version of Shinsuke Nacamura, and I also got Stunning Steve Austin. In this video, we'll take a look at each of the figures individually. We'll check out their accessories, height, and articulation. We'll compare them with some other figures I have of the same wrestler. And at the end, we'll check out all the figures next to some other action figures from different various companies to see how they fit in both scale and style wise, in case you want to know which lines you can mix them with. So we're going to start off with Shinsuke Nacamura. So here's Shinsuke Nacamura. He comes with 2 alternate hands, totaling 4 interchangeable hands, and he also has a championship belt. Now I didn't feel like I needed to get both versions of this figure, but I happened to stumble across the chase figure just sitting there completely by himself at Walmart, so I thought, why not? So let's go ahead and check out the figure. They're essentially the exact same figure, just painted a little bit differently. You can see his face, nice detail, kind of has those weird eyes, long hair, short on one side, long on the other. He's got this blue and black outfit, open in the middle, got a little armband here, fingers in that weird sort of awkward position. It looks like single jointed elbows, double jointed knees. Overall, not a bad looking figure, although it's not one of my favorite outfits he'll wear. And I will say, I think the black and red one is a little bit better. It's the chase variant, but this is my preferred look of the 2 options here. And here they are, broken down as far as they can go, with all of their removable parts detached. Now let's check out his accessories, and let's start off with his hands. He's got a total of 4 hands. 2 are in sort of an awkward pose, and then 2 gripping hands. Here's Shinsuke with his first pair of hands. These hands are in that awkward pose. They have the ring finger sort of bent inward. He's always doing some weird stuff with his hands. And here's his next pair of hands. These are his gripping hands. Now let's look at his championship belt. This thing is black. It has some gold on the front. If you look at the middle, it says Intercontinental Champion. Here's Shinsuke wearing the belt around his waist. And here, wearing it around his shoulder, as they often do. Now that we've taken a pretty good look at both the figure and his accessories, now let's check out his height. From bottom to the top of their head, they're sitting at about 7.0 inches tall, which can translate to a hair under 18 centimeters. Now let's check out his articulation. Starting with his head here, Of course, it can rotate from side to side. He can look up and down about that far, not too much. He can tilt his head a little bit from one side to the other. Shoulders are on ball joints. Goes out about 90 degrees, up, down, around, all that good stuff. He's got a bicep cut below that. Single jointed elbows with about a 90-degree bend. His wrist here can rotate, and it's going to be hinged as well. He's got an ab crunch in his torso, traditional waist swivel below that. Legs on ball joints, they can only go out about this far. Forward, about that much. Back, not too much. He's got a thigh cut. Double jointed knees, they go all the way back. And then his ankle here goes up and down a little bit, and then it can sort of tilt and rock as well. And here are the other Shinsuke Nacamura figures that I have. These are both the Chase and regular release from the Mattel Basic Series 107. Now let's go ahead and check out The Rock, or Dwayne Johnson. He comes with 2 alternate hands, totaling 4 interchangeable hands, a microphone, and then a cloth soft goods removable shirt. So let's check out the figure. Dwayne Johnson, younger than he is now, smiling face. I've definitely seen this head used before. Bald head. They have just botched it with some paint spill or something on this guy. Such a noticeable thing. They have just ruined his head. I do have a basic Dwayne Johnson with the same head, so I'll probably look into head swapping that. Just, man, very noticeable, very distracting. It is worse in person than on camera. Going further down, tattoos look very nice. Not sure how they could paint something so intricate and then mess up something so easy. Looks like single jointed elbows. He's got pants with a white stripe on. Double jointed knees. Overall, fairly solid Rock release. And here he is, broken down as far as he can go, with all of his removable parts detached. Now let's look at his accessories, and let's start off with his hands. He does have 4 hands, 2 fists, and 2 gripping hands. Here's The Rock with his fists, then with his gripping hands attached. Here's his microphone. Anyone who collects wrestling figures is going to have a bunch of these things. It's made of solid plastic, not much texture on the top there. Got the wrestling logo, a little bit of blue, nothing super special. Here's Dwayne holding the mic. Now let's look at the shirt. It's a black tank top with some white highlights. Cloth, soft material. It's got Velcro on one side, used to attach to the figure. Here's The Rock without his shirt on. And here, with the shirt on. This will definitely be my preferred look for him, as this is going to be him out of the ring, and I can use him in the background for a bunch of different action figure scenarios. Now let's check out his height. From bottom to top, he's sitting at about 6.8 inches tall, which is going to translate to a hair over 17 centimeters. And now, for his articulation. Starting with his head here, of course, you can rotate from side to side. Looks up and down about that much. Can tilt from side to side as well. Shoulders on a ball joint, goes out a little bit more than 90 degrees. Up, down, around, all that good stuff. Bicep cut, single jointed elbows, a 90-degree bend. His wrists can rotate, and it's going to be hinged as well. Ab crunch here. Traditional waist swivel below that. Legs on ball joints, they go out about this far. Forward, about that much. Back, pretty much not at all. Thigh cut. Double jointed knees, and his ankle here goes up and down, and you can tilt and rock it as well. Here's this Elite Rock next to the basic version of the Rock in the same outfit to his left. This is the figure that has the exact same head, so I'm planning to head swap them, as I'd want my Elite one to look better than the basic one. And here are all the different Rock figures that I have. 3 of them are basic. This new one is the only Elite one that I have. And here's Bianca Belair. I believe she's dating Montez Ford, one of the other figures in this wave. She comes with 4 alternate hands, totaling 6 interchangeable hands, some glasses, and a jacket. And I'll tell you, upon first glance, I'm very impressed with this jacket and the material it's made of. So let's take a look at her. Here she is, got a smiling face, that crazy long braid of hers. It looks excellent, very nice detail all the way through this thing. She's got the signature lips all over her outfit, And it looks like, I believe this is her. Yeah, you can see her hair standing around. Boots down here, double jointed knees, single jointed elbows. And I think her face, it looks pretty decent. And I will say, they did botch up the paint around her hair. You can see there's a little gap in there. On the other side, it goes too far. So, pretty poor paint job on the two figures' heads so far. I also wanted to point out on the side of her braid, it says EST. Now this braid is impressive, goes down so far. I believe she's going to beat people with it in the ring. And she's got some pretty nice detail on her tattoos. I believe this one on her wrist says love with a little heart next to it. And then she also has all these heart tattoos on her back. That one at the top says Bianca. And I will say some more paint issues on her arm there. And here she is, broken down. Now let's check out her accessories. And let's start off with her hands. Here's her first pair of hands, her fists. And here's her second pair of hands. These are some flat, outstretched hands. And here are her third pair of hands, her gripping hands. And here are her sunglasses. They're black, got circular lenses with bling around them, made of a soft, sort of rubbery material. Here's Bianca without the glasses. Then, with the glasses on. Now let's look at her jacket. I think this thing looks great. The material it's made out of really simulates a jacket nicely. You can see it's got Bianca all over the jacket, matching her clothing. Big old lip on the back. Here's Bianca with no jacket. And then here, with the jacket on. The jacket itself looks great, but doesn't look that good on her. A little too big and bulky. Looks a little bit stiff. And it keeps folding the back where the lips are. Now let's look at her height. She's sitting at about 6.0 inches tall, which is going to translate to a hair over 15 centimeters. And then her articulation. Start with her head here. Can rotate from side to side. Can look up and down just the tiniest bit. Can't really tilt from side to side. Shoulders on a ball joint. Goes out a little bit more than 90 degrees. Up, down, around. Bicep cut. Single jointed elbow. Wrist can rotate, and it's going to be hinged as well. She's got a ball joint in her torso, can rotate, also go forward and back. Traditional waist swivel. Legs on ball joints, they can pretty much completely do splits. Forward, about that much. Back, pretty much not at all. Thigh cut. Double jointed knees. Boot cut. And then her ankles go up and down. They can tilt just a little bit. And she has toe articulation. And here she is, next to the basic version of Bianca. That's also a very nice figure. Moving on to Montez Ford. He is the husband of Bianca Belair that we just went over. He comes with 2 alternate gloved hands, totaling 4 interchangeable hands. He's got a removable shirt. Then he has a crown and a cup. But before I take a look at the accessories, let's check him out. Face, not too bad. Got the mustache there. The hairline looks pretty good, and it's a little bit textured. You can almost see the waves in there. Not too bad. Overall body looks pretty good. Tattoos, very nicely done. They actually do a great job with these tattoos on the Mattel figures. Looks like single jointed elbow, double jointed knees. Got the red boots and the red and white striped pants. And here he is, broken down all the way. Now to look at his accessories, starting with his hands. Here's his first pair of hands. These are some flat, outstretched hands with gloves on. The gloves are black on the inside, gold on the outside, very textured. And here's his other pair of hands. These are some semi-open gripping hands with a pretty large grip. Here's his cup. It says Tez, like King Tez. They've got a thing about red solo cups. Here he is, holding the cup. That's why he has those large gripping hands. Here's his crown. It's made of a rubbery, bendable material. It has the jewels around it, made of gold, King Tez. Here's Montez, without the crown. And then here's King Tez. Now let's look at his shirt. You can see it's a Street Profits SP here. That's a tag team duo that he's in with Angelo. It's made of a rubbery material. Of course, it's going to be able to open, and you're going to be able to slide it on top of him. Here's Montez with no jacket, and here with the jacket on. Now for his height. He's sitting at about 6.75 inches tall, about 17 centimeters. And onto his articulation. Start with his head, rotate side to side, up and down about that much. He can tilt from side to side as well. Shoulders on a ball joint, about 90-degree bend, up, down, around. Bicep cut, single jointed elbow. Wrist, rotate, hinged. Ab crunched, waist swivel. Ball joints on his legs, completely does splits. Forward that far, back not at all. Thigh cut, double jointed knees. So we've got rotation above his foot here. They go up and down, and they can tilt and rock a little bit. And here he is, next to the basic version of Montez Ford. Now let's look at Angelo Dawkins. He's the other half of the Street Profits with Montez Ford. He comes with 4 alternate hands, totaling 6 interchangeable hands. He has a removable cloth soft goods jacket and a removable headband. This guy's made on a much thicker body than Montez Ford. His face looks pretty good, got kind of a smirk on him. I really think the likeness is not bad on this guy. Much bigger body, very strong biceps and big chest. Street Profits. He's got the sort of long shorts on, sort of leggings underneath or whatnot. Red tennis shoes. Looks pretty good. And here he is, broken all the way down. Now for his accessories, starting off with his hands. Here's his first pair of hands, his fists, and his next pair of hands. They're flat with outstretched fingers. And then his last pair of hands. These are his semi-open gripping hands. Here's his headband. It says Street Profits, Never Loss. Made of a bendable material, easy to put on and off his head. Here he is without the headband. Then, with it on. Now let's look at his jacket. Similar material to Bianca's. I like the effect. Looks very much like a real-life jacket. Street Profits. Got Velcro on the front, the back. More Street Profits. And of course, here he is without the jacket on. Then, with the jacket on, once again, it looks a little bit big and bulky on him. Now let's look at his height. From bottom to the top, about 7.1 inches tall, about 18 centimeters. Now for his articulation. Start with the head. You can rotate from side to side. Look up and down about that much. Can tilt, but my guy's having a really hard time keeping his poses, just sort of bounces back into place. Shoulders on a ball joint, goes out about 90 degrees, up, down, around. Bicep cut, single jointed elbow. His wrist, it can rotate and it's hinged. He's got an ab crunch, waist swivel, ball jointed legs, completely does the splits. Forward, that far, back, not at all. Thigh cut, double jointed knees, looks pretty awkward when bent all the way. He's got a cut below the shorts, his ankle, up and down, tilt rock, that's about it. And here he is, next to the basic version of Angelo Dawkins. And now let's look at Stunning Steve Austin. He comes with 2 alternate hands, totaling 4 interchangeable hands, a championship belt, and then the thing directors use when they do takes between scenes. So let's check him out. He's got that smiling face, the blonde hair part on the side, the brown beard, a silver vest, single jointed elbows, knee pads, presumably on double jointed knees, white boots, Hollywood Stunning Steve blondes, big old star on his butt. And here he is, broken down. I will say, normally I wouldn't buy a wrestling figure that doesn't have pants on, but I really wanted this director's thing. Now let's look at his accessories, starting with his hands. Here's his first pair of hands, his fists, then his second pair of hands, his semi-open gripping hands. Here's his championship belt. It's black, gold with some blue and red. It says WCW World Tag Team Wrestling Champion. Here's Steve Austin with the championship belt around his waist. And here, around his shoulder. Now let's check out his vest. It's made of a rubbery material, silver colored, SS of stars, Hollywood Stunning Steve blondes. Here he is without the vest, then with the vest on. Here's his clapboard. This thing looks great. It's black, got some white. It is hinged. Take one, action, and it's got a bunch of details all over this thing. And I actually have one of these from before. This came with a NECA James Cameron Aliens Marine. And here he is holding this thing. Now let's look at his height. He's sitting at about 6.9 inches tall, about 17.5 centimeters. Now for his articulation. His head can rotate from side to side, up and down, not too much, a little bit of tilting. Ball joint at shoulders, 90-degree bend, up, down, around, a bicep cut below that, single jointed elbow, wrist can rotate and it's hinged, ab crunch, waist swivel, ball jointed legs, forward, nothing back, thigh cut, double jointed knees, a little bit obstructed for the knee pads, boot cut, feet go up and down, and they can tilt and rock. And I don't actually have any other stunning Steve Austin figures to compare him to. Now let's check him out next to some other action figures, starting off with some other wrestling figures. Here they are next to some other elite wrestling figures, then next to some basic wrestling figures, and here next to some female wrestling figures, then next to some older Jakks Pacific wrestling figures, then next to some of the Jazzwares, then next to some of the newer Jazzwares AEW All Elite wrestling figures. Now let's check them out next to some action figures from different various companies to see how they fit in both scale and style wise, in case you want to know which lines you can mix them with. We'll start off with some of the larger action figure lines I collect and work our way smaller. Here they are next to some DST or Diamond Select toys, then next to some McFarlane toys, and here they are next to some DC Direct and DC Collectibles figures, then next to some NECA figures, and here they are next to some Mezco 1/12 cloth soft goods action figures, then with some other Mattel brothers and sisters. Here they are next to some Mattel DC Universe Classics and Multiverse figures, and here next to some Mafex figures, then next to some Hasbro Marvel Legends, and here they are next to some SH Figure Arts action figures, and finally here they are next to some Jazzwares Fortnite figures. So overall, this is a pretty solid wave of Mattel Elite Wrestling figures. I usually don't buy the whole wave, but pretty much all these figures appeal to me in one way, shape, or form. I put them here in order from my favorite to my least favorite, starting with Angelo Dawkins. I think they just did an excellent job with his likeness and his overall body. Bianca's next, then The Rock, then Montez, and then Shinsuke, and last, stunning Steve Austin. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. This is D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you liked the video, press like below. If you have anything you want to say about the video, add to the comment section. If you want to see additional action figure videos from me, press subscribe. I do appreciate when you do that. Once again, this is D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this video, and I will talk to you guys real soon.